Business ownership's the best way to build wealth, and buying a business is the fastest way to get there. I've said it a few times, don't buy real estate. Today, we're gonna look at a multifamily rental unit in Kansas City. It's a 13-unit building advertising about $146,000 in annual revenue and about $97,000 in annual net operating income. So that means the property has a yield or cap rate of about 7.5%. Now, interest rates to buy this property can vary pretty wildly across different lenders, your experience as a borrower, but we're gonna look at two categories: the likely borrowing rate for an inexperienced purchaser of this asset versus someone who has a lot of real estate experience. So if you don't have a lot of experience, we're gonna look at a conventional loan. So it's gonna require about a 15% down payment. And what we're seeing is that interest rates are between 6.25% and 8.5%. So for this discussion, we'll just use the midpoint of 7.4%. Now, it doesn't take a lot of work or a math genius to see that we've got an asset yielding 7.5 and we're gonna finance it at 7.4. It's not a great deal. And the 15% down payment equals about $195,000. Using the terms of this loan, which is 15 years, 7.5% interest, 15% down, the after debt cash flow to you is minus $18,000 per year. Now, you are paying down principal in that equation. That is part of that negative cash flow, so that's not a real expense to you. You know, someone out there is gonna argue you should buy it because prices are gonna go up, and that's just probably not going to happen because interest rates are at least steady for at least the next several years. They might go down a little, but I know someone out there might say, well, what about the appreciation of the property? And I'd say it's not really reasonable to expect price appreciation given the current pricing in the commercial real estate market. Now, if you're an experienced owner, you have the option of, say, like a Fannie Mae loan, which has much better terms than that conventional loan. So you can get a 30-year term instead of 15, and the interest rate is 5.62%. But the down payment requirement is 20%. So in this instant, it's $260,000. So considering the extended terms and the better interest rate, your cash flow is actually a positive $25,000 per year with this property. It's positive, but that's not a great cash flow for the risk. You're buying $1.5 million property and you're only getting about $25,000. This really, you can make this work, but there's so many better options out there than doing this. And that's what to say, run into a lot of people that have become religious about real estate because they've made a lot of money in real estate, but I don't think they understand why they made that money in real estate. They all think it's because they're a genius. That's why they put a TikTok video, show how rich they are. I made all this money in real estate. But they don't really understand that it's just property values go up when interest rates go down. We've been in a 40-year trend of declining interest rates. I'm not saying they're gonna go up any more than they already have, but it's hard to see that trend continue at the same pace that it did. It's hard to get interest rates back down to a level that justify current cap rates. So I think a lot of these people that made money in real estate but don't understand why they made money in real estate are gonna be in for a rude awakening pretty soon. But there are still things out there that cash flow. Look at some of the businesses that we've talked about. They're more hands-on than real estate. We don't ever want to confuse that. It's actually even higher risk than real estate, but you can still get really good returns. Can still generate high cash flow. Even with high financing costs, we assume 10% in our equations, which is higher than the current market. 10% is higher than what you're gonna actually borrow to go buy these. So we're putting in some conservatism on the interest rates. So we think it's an interesting place to deploy money is the small business space. So let us know if we can help you purchase a business. Leave any questions, topics you wanna cover in the comments, and follow us for more.